I've said this for I think every episode so far, but this is probably my favorite episode so far.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will, and I'm back to do another spoiler review for the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Episode 4. This is a spoiler review, like all my reviews have been so far, so you've been warned. I'm going to jump right into it, and we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot more explanation of where we can expect the last two episodes to go. We got more interaction between Sam and Carly, who is our main antagonist, and really an in-depth philosophy of the ideal of the super soldier and what it really means. And we got a lot more to talk about, especially with that ending. So I'm going to jump right into this. Before I jump into it though, thank you so much for watching this and all of my videos. As always, if you do enjoy this video, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more. I'd love to have you. I'd love to talk to you. I do reviews so far for WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier. We've got our latest trailer for Loki, which I've done a trailer reaction for. That is on the channel now, so feel free to check that out. And I will be doing episode reviews for Loki once that drops as well. So episode 4, we pick up immediately with the aftermath of that last scene in episode 3, where Io from the Dora Milaje shows up and encounters Bucky Barnes and explains that they are there for Zemo. We get a really beautiful kind of flashback to Wakanda 6 years ago when Bucky was there learning how to remove the programming that Hydra had put into him. And it's a really beautiful scene for Bucky, and we get to see that Io was one of the people who were there for him to really help him break through that programming, and he was finally free. And it was really touching. It was really heartfelt scene, which makes their encounter a little bit more disheartening since Io is there for Zemo and she knows that Bucky helped him escape from prison, but Bucky needs Zemo right now to help try to stop the Flag Smashers and to stop this uprising new super soldiers. Io understands that he's a means to an end, but she doesn't care. They're there because of what Zemo did. He is responsible for the death of King T'Chaka from Civil War. She gives him 8 hours. You got 8 hours and then we're coming for Zemo. And that's how that scene ends. And you can tell Io is upset because she was there for Bucky. She was there to help him. And when she needs that help now, he's kind of resistant because he needs Zemo. And it comes to a head later in the episode, probably one of my favorite scenes. So another thing about the episode, we get this really cool interaction or conversation between Sam and Zemo, where Zemo straight up asks Sam if he would take the super soldier serum if he had a chance. And Sam, without hesitation, says no, which impresses Zemo to no end. He brings up the concept that the super soldier serum is directly tied to the concept of supremacy. People who have always wanted the serum have always wanted more power. With that, the concept of being superior to your fellow man. That's why Zemo hates the concept of super soldiers, because it's very similar to what like Lex Luthor hates about Superman, the idea of this godlike being lording over the mere mortal men of the world. Zemo very definitively states that anyone who has anything to do with super soldier serum is inherently tied to the concept of supremacy. Even Bucky, which kind of upsets Sam a little bit. But one person he doesn't name drop is Steve Rogers, because he admits that Steve Rogers is the only person who he will admit had nothing to do with supremacy. He was the first super soldier, but he never wanted the power. And that's the thing about Steve's personality, which is very much a polar opposite to John Walker's personality. Steve Rogers did not want the serum. He took it out because he wanted to stop bullies. It's the same thing I said in my last episode about Dr. Erskine when I was talking to Steve about not being a perfect soldier, but a good man. And that's what Steve was. And Zemo, regardless of how he feels about the concept of super soldiers, he respects Steve Rogers so much. The same way that Sam and Bucky both respect him. They end up going to the refugee camp to encounter Carly because Sam feels like, with his background being a counselor, to try to talk her down. And see, when John Walker shows up, he's like a bull in a china shop. He immediately tries to throw his title of Captain America around. And this episode really serves to definitively highlight the fact that Sam Wilson is the right person for the Shield. and the title of Captain America, whereas John Walker is clearly not the right person for the shield. He's very agitated. He tries to take charge, and his ideal is to just barge in there instead of trying to do the peaceful solution first, which inevitably his headstrongness or his ideal of trying to be the person in charge completely backfires multiple times in this episode. We see him interrupt the conversation between Sam and Carly, where Sam is clearly explaining to Carly that what she is doing, her methodologies for this war that she is waging, is having a reverse effect, and she is becoming the thing that she is attempting to try to tear down. He even tells her straight up, "You're being a supremacist," and when she tries to rebuke that, she immediately threatens to kill other people to achieve her goal, which Sam just kind of chuckles and like, yep, that's what a supremacist would say. And it just continues that idea that the super soldier serum in the wrong hand, or someone who wants that sort of power, has this inherent link to being superior to someone else. That's the entire idea of getting super strength, almost to almost lord over everyone else with it. So their conversation is cut short when John Walker busts in and tries to throw his authority around. That just goes south really quickly. Once they regroup, he tries to, again, throw his authority around and tries to intimidate Sam and Bucky to give up Zemo, where that clearly didn't work out because Sam just knocks him down a peg or two. And that all changes when the best scene of the episode, when the Dora Milaje show up because 8 hours have passed, they want Zemo. And before anything can happen, John Walker tries to use his authority with the Dora Milaje. And if you've learned anything from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you don't with the Dora Milaje. It is a fantastic fight scene. They knock him down a peg. They kick his ass. It is glorious to see some strong black women beat up this asshole. And again, no disrespect to Wyatt Russell. In fact, props to Wyatt Russell. He is the actor portraying John Walker. He does an amazing job as this character. He does exactly what you need him to do. You need to hate this guy, and you do through and through. Even though he clearly suffers from some sort of PTSD, it's very similar to Bucky, but instead of getting the help that he probably needs, he definitely goes down the wrong path with this. We also get this cool interaction with Io where she disables Bucky's vibranium arm, which makes total sense since they are the ones who gave him the arm. They know how it works. They know how to stop him when he does something they don't like. And it does really suck that they do have to kind of fight each other a little bit, but hopefully by the end of the series we will get some sort of reconciliation, because Bucky Barnes clearly loves Wakanda, and you can tell based off his emotions and reactions, he definitely feels bad about what he's doing, but he needs to try to do this. We get this brief conversation between Battlestar and John Walker, where he tries to console his friend. You know, with Battlestar, he's not a bad guy, but he is, unfortunately, just kind of a prop device in this whole struggle that John is going through with the title of Captain America. He even laments that basically they weren't even super soldiers and he got his ass handed to him. The entire series since his introduction, he has just had his ass handed to him. And so I think that sort of blow to the confidence is definitely what causes him to do what he does later in the episode. They had their confrontation with Carly. It was the scuffle. The remaining vials of the super soldier serum were destroyed except for one that John Walker was able to acquire. At this point in time, he has not taken the serum, but definitely by the end of the episode he has, and we get to see that displayed, unfortunately for Sam, when he notices the increased strength and the more damage that he's doing. Before the scuffle, Carly reaches out to Sam's sister, Sarah, to try to somewhat intimidate her to try to get Sam off of her back. Because she doesn't want Sam. She doesn't really care, because killing Sam wouldn't do anything for her cause. She wants to kill John Walker. She wants to kill the symbol of Captain America. And this continues her downfall into this being not necessarily a freedom fighter, but definitely much more of a supremacist with her ideals. By the end of the episode, I wonder if there is some form of regret. See, by the end of the episode, there's a confrontation where they finally where she attempts to kill John Walker, but Battlestar jumps in the way and unfortunately is killed in the scuffle. This sends John completely off the rail. If anything else was going to throw him completely off the rail, it is losing, quote unquote, his best friend. And with the super soldier serum pumping through his veins, he chases down one of the other members of the Flag Smashers, and in front of a public group of people, he takes the shield and bashes his brains in to the point where by the time you see the shield again, the bottom half is dripping with blood. That sort of iconography is completely heartbreaking in terms of what that shield meant to Steve Rogers and what it means to Bucky Barnes. To Sam and Bucky's grimace, they have to sit there and watch this along with so many other public people who are recording it on their phone, because we live in the age where you record something and it's on the internet. So this is definitely the huge turning point in the series that we were hoping for. This is definitely feeling like a call to action for not only Bucky to be more adamant about removing the shield from John Walker, but even Sam probably regretting the whole situation to begin with, because Steve trusted him with that symbol, and he let it go. Even though he didn't directly give it to John, he is responsible for John having it. And I think that's going to inform his character towards the last 2 episodes of the series. Overall, man, this episode was hella good. It was really good. I love the idea, the concept that we're exploring with what that serum does to people. It did it to the Red Skull. It did it to Abomination, or a version of it. And it's clearly had negative effects on Bucky, because he spent years as the Winter Soldier against his will. And Sam admitting that he does not want it is why he's the right choice. That sort of definitiveness proves that Steve made the right choice. It also proves why Bucky probably doesn't want the shield, because he doesn't feel worthy of it, because he has the serum flowing through his veins. We're getting to that point now where we know what we're going to have to do. We know what Sam has to do. He has to take the shield back. And it's not about the shield. It's about the meaning of it and how he is the right candidate to continue that meaning that was Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers is what made Captain America Captain America. Steve always knew he had this flag on his shield, but he never used it in a violent manner like John Walker has. He always uses it to protect. And this episode showed why John is not the right candidate, obviously. But it also solidifies why Sam is. I like the idea of how Sam approaches things differently. He approaches things very much like Steve. He doesn't immediately go in for the firefight. He's the one that wants to talk. He's the one who wants to try to de-escalate the situation. And that's just his character. And I'm glad we got more of his character that we got in Winter Soldier, where he was a counselor. He was the one that wanted to try to help people in non-violent situations, who wanted to try to talk to people, try to figure things out. And, you know, I'm glad we got to see that side of him again. I loved all the Dora Milaje stuff. I really hope that we find some sort of conclusion where Zemo doesn't get killed, but the Dora Milaje get what they want, because they are incredible characters. I'm glad Io is getting much more of a front and center role. I loved when she was in Civil War, and she kind of got diminished a little bit because of Okoye kind of took the forefront of a lot of stuff. But I'm glad she's back, and I'm glad she's getting that sort of ability to be a main character again. I feel bad for Lamar Hopkins, because he really was always just a means to an ends. Very similar to Zemo, but Zemo is a full-fledged character. Lamar was basically just there to be a tool in order to progress the story of John Walker a little bit further. I don't think he was ever really meant to make him feel sympathetic, but he was a tool in the regard of, this is what's going to push John over the edge. I'm really excited for these last 2 episodes. I think this was probably the most solid episode. I think we got a lot of answers. We didn't get a ton of questions, and we got a lot more answers, and that's what I really liked about this episode. And I was really excited to see the Dora Milaje kick ass again, and I like how the episode really focused on Sam and John Walker and why John Walker might be a perfect soldier to a degree, but Sam is a good man. That is my review of episode 4 of The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching this and all of my videos. I really do appreciate it. I've got 2 more episodes to go. I'm really excited for it. I've got some new trailer reactions on the channel right now. Hopefully this video will go up like Monday or Tuesday-ish, depending on my schedule. I also have a Godzilla vs. King Kong review I'm working on that should go up hopefully today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but hopefully you will check those out. You know, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until next time, I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.